Hello, welcome back to my complete Blu-ray collection overview series for 2015, and this is cycle 10, and it is a big Steelbook collection cycle, every single Pixar film. And we're going to go in reverse chronological order, just so it's easier for me to put it back on the shelf when we're done. The first one is the most recent film, of course, and it is Monsters University. This is the Amazon Germany edition. The title isn't on the spine. It's just kind of a little Monsters University logo on the back. You got some great artwork, and then handshaking. Hold still. Okay. Already taken one of the discs out because I'm taking them all back to Norway with me. But got the 3D Blu-ray, the normal Blu-ray, and the bonus disc Blu-ray. I'll just take the discs out so you get a look at the inside artwork. I really did enjoy this film a lot. Didn't have very high expectations. I feel like Pixar have done maybe one or two too many sequels, to be honest, but you know, I think their forte lies in those original films that you just watch and think, wow, that's fantastic. I have to take this crap out actually. Yeah, I think their genius lies in some of the more original stuff they do. Anyway, but I guess some of the more original later films haven't really hit as well as the others. Speaking of that, we'll go on to the next one, which is Brave. This is the US, I don't know if it's Best Buy metal pack, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the colours are fantastic. This is heavily embossed. You know, there's one of the debossed borders. The artwork on the back is gorgeous as well. The inside artwork is beautiful, and it was just the empty case that I got. Actually, Robbie Webster picked it up for me. Even the Disney Pixar is embossed. Beautiful steelbook, and I finally picked up the Blu-ray to go inside it as well. And the film itself, you know, it was kind of forgettable. I thought it looked amazing, but didn't quite hit home as much as some of the other films that Pixar have been doing before that. This is the UK, I think it's just HMV Steelbook, nothing too fancy. Cars 2. Probably the weakest Pixar film I think that they've done. I still enjoyed it though. It was fun. It just felt like it wasn't up there with Pixar's best, you know. And I think all of these Blu-rays have some good extra special features. This one doesn't. Okay, it just has Hawaiian Vacation, Toy Story short, and Air Mater. So that's a shame. They usually have some good extras, but this one not so much. And I guess it's not really that much of a big deal. But yeah, printed back on this steelbook as well. Not too cool, but either way, you know, I don't hate Cars 2. I can watch it and enjoy it for what it is. And now we move on to one of the more kind of heavy-hitting classics of Pixar's filmography, Toy Story 3. Now this is one of the German steelbooks, the steelbook range, which I have. Most of these are the German steelbooks. They don't have inside artwork, and they all have printed backs. So some people don't like them, but I love them just because of the bold images of the characters on the front. So here's Toy Story 3 with Buzz on the front there. A nice silver steelbook. This is a 2-disc set, has tons of special features, all sorts of good stuff. And yeah, this is just an amazing film. Really is. I'll get to my thoughts on the other films. Again, it's weird doing this out of sequence, but hey, it's kind of different, I guess. Yeah, it's just amazing. The ending is just fantastic, really poignant, really sweet, and I kind of think they should have left it there, to be honest, but we're going to see Toy Story 4 in a few years, and I'll be there to see it, I'm sure. Next we have Oben, or Up. We've got one of the main characters there on the front. I would have preferred like the old man on the front of this, to be honest, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. These steelbooks are pretty cheap when I got them years ago, so yeah, this is another 2-disc set with loads of special features. Yeah, I'm sure there's a commentary, loads of documentaries and things like that. And this film, again, the first 10-15 minutes of this film just destroyed me. And I think anyone can relate to that, and I think to achieve that in a CGI animated film was something pretty special. The rest of the film I find almost doesn't matter because the first 10 minutes are so strong, but overall it is a really, really great film. And it's also worth noting that all the transfers on these on Blu-ray just look incredible because you're not dealing with something that's been on film. It's all digital, and so it's perfectly transferred into the high definition format. Next we have my favourite kind of digitally animated film ever. It is Wally. Just a masterpiece, it really is. I mean, the first 30 minutes of this film are literally perfect in my opinion. I think it's just amazing. The fact that you feel so much for a character that is, you know, just pixels, you know, basically pixels, but also just pixels that have formed into a robotic shape, you know. And I think it's the eyes that do it, and I just think the way they animated this film to make you feel for Wally, and yeah, but the whole story is great, and the visuals, but really the first half an hour, it's like a silent film. And yeah, I just adore this film so much. This is another 2-disc set, which has all sorts of good special features, but the really cool thing on disc 2 of this Blu-ray is the 88-minute documentary, The Pixar Story, which is an amazing documentary film about the history of Pixar. You know, you talk to like John Lasseter and Steve Jobs, who was very instrumental in, you know, Pixar's whole story, and it's very interesting to hear about that. I've watched the documentary more than once, and if you're a big Pixar fan, it is a must-watch documentary, in my opinion. Then we have Ratatouille. I love the cover of this one as well, with the rat on the front. I haven't got the time to take them out of the bag, so you can't really... You're getting a lot of glare, but I just have to apologise for that, really. But I really like this film. Again, probably on the lower end of my kind of favourites, but I do enjoy it a lot. This one's just a single disc, and it has 10 documentaries, you know, probably a commentary as well. I'm just trying to read the German on the back, but yeah, I think that's a commentary. But yeah, I really like Ratatouille. It's a nice, fun film. You know, it doesn't try to be too much more than it is, I feel. Then we have Cars, which John Lasseter directed, and I really enjoyed this film. There are bits of it that kind of get a bit slow, and the story drags, but overall, I really like it, and reminds me almost of being a kid. And Thomas Tank Engine, you know, it's basically just this, almost the same kind of deal, but with cars, with the eyes and the mouths and the personalities, and the scenery's gorgeous, you know, that kind of American Route 66 kind of feel going on there, and out in the desert, and I just think all the voice actors are great. You got Paul Newman in this, like it was his final role even, so yeah, really good film that I know a lot of people don't like. Connie, my fiance, doesn't really like this film, but yeah, I thought it was great. Tons of special features once again, and yeah, Cars. 7 minutes long, not too bad. Now we have one that everyone loves. This is like one of the most kind of talked about Pixar films that everyone thinks is amazing, and it is Die Unglaublichen, The Incredibles. It does say The Incredibles in English underneath, very small text, but yeah, The Incredibles. I watched it, loved it, thought it was really good, but I didn't find it to be like blown away amazing like some of the other Pixar films, so maybe I have to rewatch this one. But I do really enjoy it. I love the story and the setting, and the opening of the film's fantastic, and there's a hilarious moment right at the end, just a real throwaway gag which I thought was just brilliant. But yeah, I love all the characters, and I definitely need to rewatch that one. This is just a single Blu-ray disc release, and has yeah, commentary from the animators, from the filmmakers, all sorts of good stuff, which I've probably said a lot by now. Now this is not a German Steelbook, it is another one of the Best Buy metal packs, Finding Nemo. Heavily embossed title, you got Disney, no, you got the two fish there embossed as well, which is really cool. Gorgeous artwork on the back. These are just great releases. And speaking of that, you know, I really want to get all the Pixar films in Steelbook form. And there have been many different versions, many different editions of the Pixar films that come out in Steelbook form. There were some amazing ones that came out, like the original Pixar Steelbooks for like Bugs Life and things like that, but they just got to be like, you know, $50, $60, $70. They went out of print. I just thought, there's no way I'm spending that much money on tracking all these down. So for me, I did go with all the German Steelbooks, which were, you know, good for, you know, good bang for the buck, basically, I would say. You know, you get a lot of films for a pretty decent price. I don't know how much they are now, if they're still knocking about, but some of them were really cheap. This one, again, Robbie Webster picked up for me. It was one of those ones you pre-order the film, you get the metal pack for free, so that was cool. But yeah, Finding Nemo was the last Pixar film I watched. Again, it had been 10 years since it came out, but I never saw it, and it was so hyped up, and I think the hype ruined it a little bit for me. I didn't think it was, again, 10 out of 10 amazing, but I did really enjoy it, and especially a film that takes place underwater mainly. You got so much colour going on, and just looks beautiful on Blu-ray. I don't think there's really many special features on that, because again, that's the empty metal pack. I just bought the standard 1-disc release. To get all the special features, you need to get like the American 3-disc Blu-ray edition, which, you know, is not really worth it for me at this point. Now we move down to Monsters Inc. I love this one. This is a really cool steelbook. The colour theme works really well, I think. This is a 2-disc set, so we got like tons of special features and things like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was one that lived up to the hype for me. at the end, it choked me up a little bit. So yeah, I think this is a really sweet film. Looks great on Blu-ray as always with Pixar, but yeah, really cool film. And then here's one that I really don't enjoy as much as everyone else. It is Toy Story 2. It was such a hyped sequel, you know, everyone was waiting for it to come out after the first Toy Story film, and it just kept getting delayed and delayed. When it finally came out, I didn't see it in the cinema, I saw it on a bad, like, pirate copy VHS. Maybe that kind of sullied my my initial response to it, but you know, even on repeat viewings, I don't enjoy it anywhere near as much as the first film, or even the third film. I think it's the weak link of the trilogy. You know, people say, oh, it's a perfect trilogy, every film's 10 out of 10. This film just ain't 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I enjoy all the beats and everything. I like the way it goes. I like that it's different from the first film, but I just can't really get behind it as much as the other two, really. Making of Toy Story 2, commentary, yeah, all sorts of good special features on that one. I do like it, but it's just, you know, not a favourite. Then we have, I don't know, maybe my third favourite or second favourite Pixar film, Bug's Life. You got Flick on the front. Love the colour of this steelbook as well. It goes perfectly with the character, and yeah, and even now being a fan of Seven Samurai and seeing how much this film borrowed from that storyline, I think is really cool. I just think this film is amazing. I love it. Love it. When it first came out, I just watched it over and over again. I had the VHS, I would just watch it, rewind it back to the beginning, and just watch it again. I just love this film so much, and it still holds up today for me as one of my favourite animated films. And definitely one of my favourite CGI animated films for sure. Audio commentary, loads of featurettes and stuff. I mean, they really do go all out on most of these Pixar releases, so yeah, great Blu-ray, great release, great film. And finally we get down to the one that started it all, which I had on the other day actually with the audio commentary while I was doing other stuff, and I have to say, Toy Story doesn't quite hold up as well in terms of the visuals in 2015. You know, it's been 20 years since this film came out, and you can really tell, mainly when you see the human characters, how it just doesn't stand up that well, but it's kind of cool in its own way. I mean, this was the first of its kind, the first feature-length CGI animated film. I found an old school book in my cupboard recently, in the past few years, where I was kind of writing about movies in my school book. This is when I must have been, again, 1995, I was, you know, about 7 years old, and I was writing how Toy Story was the first ever CGI animated feature film. You know, it's a seven-year-old writing this in his school book, and I was saying how, like, you know, in the old days, films used to be in black and white, and now they're in colour. And I was kind of saying that how in the future all films will be like CGI, like the transition from hand-drawn animation to CGI will be the same kind of difference of black and white to colour. And if you look at in terms of the animation world, it's actually pretty true. But I was kind of thinking that all films would be CGI, I think. But either way, you know, it really did revolutionise the animation industry, because you look at any animated film comes out now, it's digital. You know, you don't see many hand-drawn animated films these days, traditionally, which is a shame, I think, because I think it's a dying art, you know, and I hope that it lives on. I'm sure it will in some form or fashion, but either way, this paved the way, and I absolutely loved it when it came out. It was huge, and rightfully so. It's a fantastic film. You know, it's not very long, but it packs so much into the running time, and great characters, great story, great visuals. I mean, I say it doesn't stand up, just the little details you see, like the kind of scuffs on the skirting board of, you know, Andy's house. You know, it feels lived in, it feels real and authentic, and bar looking a little bit, you know, its age, I still just adore this film. So Toy Story, fantastic. And yeah, I was listening to the audio commentary, which is pretty good, and there's all sorts of making of stuff here, and they even ported over all the DVD special features. So there you go, that's the Pixar collection in steelbook form. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next part of this epic Blu-ray overview collection series, which will be the Disney collection. I'll see you there.